Hi everybody, I'm Rose and this is Mama Rosie's Corner. I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to talk with you guys this week, pick up kind of where we left off and take it from there. Last week we talked about chronic pain and coping with it and learning how to live with it. I had a really rough week, and when weeks like that happen, it makes it very difficult to stay motivated, and I've talked with you guys about this. It's really a process. So I had to work through a lot of stuff this week. I can't walk right now. For whatever reason, my fibro is just not allowing it. My feet are in the worst shape they've ever been, and I thought with losing weight that would get better. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. So I've not been able to walk, and steadily I have not been able to walk since about April, and it's really been difficult for me because it was a regular thing for over a year of my life. Almost every day I walked. So it's been really troublesome, and I know I can get back to it. I will get back to it one way or another, but for right now I can't, and it's made losing the weight very difficult. So I've been stagnant. And of course, as most of you know, I am currently trying to break 200. It has become a really big deal to me. So I had to focus, and I had to try to redirect, right? That's what I told you guys. You can't does not mean won't. It means redirect. We have to try and find a new way. So I had to spend the week figuring out what I'm going to do with myself. Well, for a while now, we've been talking about doing a garden. And so I've decided that instead of walking, I'm going to start doing my gardening, and I'm going to make what I've been dreaming about for a long time. And it's a project. It's going to take time, but I chose that because it's something that I can put into motion. It's a goal that is attainable. So instead of setting myself up to fail and giving up, and going after something that's not realistic, or trying to do something that I physically can't handle, I've decided to do something that I think I can handle, that I can control, that I can give a time limit, and that I can work through. So with that, let's talk about goals for a minute in a little bit more detail than we did last time. I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I'm going to talk about goals in a way that I learned about it in college. Because that's the way it makes the most sense to me. The first thing about goals is that they need to be motivating. They need to be something you really, really want. If it is not something you want, if it is something you're doing for someone else, if you are not properly motivated, you're not going to follow through. It's like setting that goal at New Year, right? Everybody has their New Year plan, and they're going to make a New Year resolution, and how many of us last? It never happens. So it has to be a goal that you are motivated to do, a goal that you can see the end of the road to. Okay? In college, we learned a lot about setting what they refer to as SMART goals, which is a goal that is specific, a goal that is measurable, a goal that is attainable, a goal that is relevant, and a goal that is time-bound, something that you can put a time limit on. So let's start with the first one. It has to be specific. I'm going to keep using my own examples here. Please understand that when I talk to you guys, most of the time I'm discussing with you things that I'm going through that are relevant in my life, that I'm still learning from. I'm sharing them with you because not only do they hold me accountable, but I'm learning too, okay? So, back to goals. The first goal is be specific. So I've decided to be very specific. I want to build my garden in my backyard. That is my specific goal, okay? The next goal is it has to be measurable. I have to be able to go out there and make a plan. I have to be able to look at it and say, this is something that can be accomplished through this method. It has to be measurable. You have to be able to look at it and write down or work out a plan that you can follow step by step. That makes it measurable. Okay, it has to be something attainable. So if you set a goal that you know you're never going to get to, or that you know is not within your realm of ability to work through, well, then you're setting yourself up to fail. And I keep going back to that because I've done it so many times in my life. Avoid setting yourself up to fail. So the only way to do that is to make goals that are attainable. With Weight Watchers, the way I did that was I've created my goals in 10-pound increments. To think of that bigger number was too difficult. So this whole time I've broken everything down into thinking about it as 10-pound goals. Weight Watchers, they give you stickers for every 5 pounds. So that helped because those 5-pound goals counted. So that made it more attainable. And that's something that's very important to look at, because if a goal is not attainable, it becomes an impossible feat. And you're putting yourself in a negative position. Okay? The next thing is it has to be relevant. The same way it needs to be something specific to your life, the same way that it needs to be something that motivates you. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be something that you can apply to your life that is going to make you better, help you grow. It has to be relevant. It has to be important to you. Okay? And lastly, it needs to be time-bound. And by that, I mean it needs to be a measurable period of time. You can't set a goal and say, whenever it happens, because it'll never happen. So I'm trying to apply all this to my gardening. Okay? So I've set a measurable goal. It is attainable. It is relevant because by having my own garden and growing my own vegetables, I am eating healthier, and I'm feeding my family healthier too. And it's a time-bound project because I would really like to be ready to do some planting in autumn. That's the goal. So I've set a goal that redirects because I can't walk. I'm still getting my exercise, so it's relevant. Okay, it's measurable, it's attainable, and it's time-bound because I'm setting myself a limitation. All of these things make it doable. Okay? In doing so, some people need to write it down. I am one of those people. Sometimes writing it down makes it real. Having that plan, putting it on paper, putting it up on a board. I have a board that I keep up on my refrigerator to motivate me to walk, and I have notes that I put up there for myself all the time, so that works. So write it down. Most importantly, make a plan of action. Know what you're going to do, okay? Because that's what makes it real. That's what makes it attainable. If you can put it in little steps, tiny goals create the bigger goal. So work on smaller steps, okay? And last but not least, you have to stick with it. No matter what happens, you have to find a way to keep going. So when you hit a bump in the road, like I did with my walking, you have to find a new way to accomplish the bigger goal. I'm not done. I still have weight to lose. At 200 pounds, I'm not sure yet if my goal is going to be 180 or 160. We'll see what I look like at 180 and then go from there. According to doctor's charts, at my height, I should be at about 162 pounds. So I set my goal at 160, but that's debatable. I have to discuss that with my doctor. Still in all, at minimum, I'm still 20 pounds away from my goal, which is amazing when I started out at over 100. So it's a wonderful thing. However, if I don't find ways to keep going, if I don't find ways to redirect, if I don't find ways to stay motivated, my grander goal gets lost. So find those smaller things that keep you going. Look for things that are important to you. Set those smaller goals because they help keep you motivated, they help you redirect, and they help you make positive moves forward. It's all about them baby steps, people. It's always about the baby steps. This is Rose. This is Mama Rosie's Corner. Have a good day.